Hey everyone, it's Danielle from Exploring Alternatives, and we're here to meet Rob and Jay, a couple who's been living on their 43-foot sailboat in Toronto, Canada for 3 years, even during our extreme Canadian winters. So let's go meet Rob and Jay, find out more about their lifestyle, and take a tour of their sailboat.
The first day we went out on a sailboat, we fell in love. And as soon as the motor got turned off and the sails went up and the boat took off, I went, this is really cool. And then just the cheap guy in me and everything, oh, you could really travel and never use any fuel, right? You can go anywhere. Now, originally we had bought a house north of Toronto, and things didn't work out. I lost my job and we had some decisions to make. I'd always liked sailing. I always was enamored with sailboats, but I always thought it was kind of beyond my means. One of the guys from work, he took sailing this one year, so I asked him about it. And he says, well, it's not that bad. You pay for a sailing course, you do basic sailing, then you can join a sailing club, and you get to go out there and you take the boats that the club has. We started looking at our future and decided that maybe this was our solution, was to buy a boat and live on the cheap. Okay, this is the forward compartment of Goshawk. This is the V berth, which is eventually going to be storage in a guest room. But right now it's some winter storage and that sort of thing, but you can see how far it actually goes up. In front of there is the sail locker. In here is the head. You've got the sink and the pump toilet. And this is also our shower. So the underneath the floor here is the gratings, and it goes all the way down into a sump, and then the sump pumps the gray water out. Next is the Nav Station. Right now it's just the computer station, but eventually the entire thing is going to be the heart of the navigation system. Now we're into the galley, the sink here. Under here it'll eventually be our ice box. We've got an alcohol stove. Eventually what I want is a gimbaled stove. So that's actually a stove that's actually on a swivel. So if you're sailing, it actually moves and stays flat. Further down, this is our oven. So we just bought a little electric oven to tide us over. When we cruise, this isn't going to be an option. It just draws way too much power to even think about. Back here, we're moving towards the aft cabin. So this is our bedroom. We have basically storage lockers, bins down here for clothing. And then we've got the closet. Now we're coming back out. On the left side here is the cockpit and the cockpit stairs going out into the cockpit itself. This is the engine cover at the front. This whole thing during this winter is going to be replaced. So there'll be storage built in here, and there'll be a flip out space to get access to the front of the engine. This is probably what's going to be our hanging locker. In here is the engine room. It's an old Perkins diesel engine. It was a long process to find the right boat. We wanted an aft cabin boat because you have the bigger bedroom space, right? It had to have a shower. I wanted an engine room. I wanted the space to work on the motor and have a little workshop. And it was a real fight to decide, because we knew what we were getting ourselves into, right? You know,
and we knew we wouldn't be sailing for the first few years because of the sheer amount of work that we had to do.
Mm-hmm. And we, it was up on the hard, and we could see that she was starting to rust. She was probably within maybe 3 or 4 years of ending up on the scrap heap. Yeah. Now mechanically it's sound. The engine runs good. The transmission's in excellent shape. The hull's not going to rust through anywhere. There's all new plumbing throughout. There's all new electrical throughout. It's very nice here in the winter. It's cozy. It's quiet. A big part of the preparation is planning early and getting the cover up before the weather turns sour. We don't have to run an agitator because of it being a steel boat, but our neighbors have a fiberglass boat, and you've got to really watch ice, because ice compression can actually, crush a hull. So in the winter we run
one ceramic heater, an oil-filled heater, and the little one that's over there.
Yeah, a little quartz heater. So between the 3 little heaters, it heats the entire boat. Generally, you have very independent type of people doing it.
Yeah.
They all have the same kind of outlook. They're independent. They don't mind living in a small space. they have other priorities in life. No, the cost of living on a boat, I think after we're settled in and we can stop doing all the renovations and everything else, it will be a little bit cheaper. Not as cheap as a lot of people would think, because you're still paying for your mooring fees. You're still paying as an extra liveaboard fee. In the summer, you get your power as part of your fees. At this marina anyway. But in the winter, you need extra power to run your heaters and everything else. It's probably equivalent to having a cheaper apartment, but it's not, as low a cost as we were hoping at first anyway, especially in a boat this size, because you pay by the foot.
In addition to that, anything that you buy for the boat, if it's got marine in front of it, it's going to cost you more.
And we got rid of everything. If it couldn't fit in the boat, it went. Actually, I've got 2 4-foot by 4-foot by 4-foot skids at my work. One has all of our alternate season stuff, and then we've got one crate that's got all of our books that we just couldn't part with. So yeah, other than what you see on the boat, that's our entire life now, knocked down from a 5-bedroom place. Once we get the sailing gear all in shape and we can actually start sailing, really the first outlay of anything that's cruising related will be solar panels. So I want to get a couple of 250 watt solar panels, and we've got 150 gallons of storage on the boat for water. Ideally, the day I retire is when we leave. Then eventually the idea is to leave here, head out to St. Lawrence, and then we've got to stop off in Nova Scotia, because Raymond Goss, the gentleman who built the boat, his intention was to take it back home. So when we bought Goshawk, there was a Nova Scotia flag mounted inside the boat, and we really want to take that back and then head south, because at that point I don't want to see a winter for 3 years.
Yes.
I figure the entire process is well worth it if I get 3 years without a winter. Then I'm happy. Anything above that is a bonus. So yeah, once we do the Caribbean, then we'll see about delving out into the Atlantic, and we'd love to be able to go to England, Scotland,
Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
See the fjords.
Sky's the limit.
Where
We'll
the
just
wind
see.
takes you.
Where the wind takes us. There you go. Exactly.